So after I bang my head into the desk and have my seventh cup of coffee, just kidding, or am I? A little bit of kidding. Day in the life of a SOC analyst. This is not a video where I talk for 1 minute about the actual job and then take you with me to lunch and then go swim. I don't know why all these day in the life videos do that. I'm going to break down to you what I do on my day to day, even try to show you an example. Now obviously I'm a SOC analyst, so I cannot show you my exact computer, but I can recreate the scenario to my best ability and present that to you. So let's begin. I say my good mornings. If I'm working from home that day, I tell people that my VPN is up and that my phone is up. And then I check my emails. After this, I check our communications application, which for you could be something like Microsoft Teams. And I just check on the updates. I see if there's anything to take note of from specific organizations that was passed over from the previous shifts. Things such as penetration tests that are being performed on organizations that we should know about so that we can adjust our approach if we see alerts including that organization. Because sometimes we have to change the way we treat a potential breach if that organization is performing expected penetration testing. Alright, so we're all caught up for the day. Then we hop into the queue. And I'm going to see if I can create something for you to see so that you can get a real feel for how it is to enter the queue as a SOC analyst. Alright, so I was able to find a few examples of what a SOC analyst queue would look like. So, you would get something like this. This page shows a general overview of what is in the queue. To be honest with you, I see something like this every day, but I don't ever really look at it because that's not where my job is. This is more for the management to check the numbers and everything. But this is an example of a page that you would see. Then, this next page. This is more along the lines of what you would be seeing. It's a little bit blurry, I know. This is how I found it, but so you will see alerts, okay? And these say it's a high priority or high impact alert and informational, etc. Now, that does not always correlate to the true priority of the alert. A lot of times I've seen something say high, but it's actually a medium, or I've seen something say informational and it's actually a medium or a high. So that's where we come in as SOC analysts, right? Because if we left it up to the computers, they would treat a high like a high and treat an informational like an informational. But we as the SOC analysts go in and investigate that alert, and we determine through all of the clues that we see, through what we observe in the console and activity surrounding the alert, we will put the appropriate priority on that alert. I just wanted to give you a quick breakdown of what I mean by high, medium, and low priority. I found this blog on Medium by Josh Lemon, and I like this chart. It's not 100% what I would go by at all, actually, but it does give a general idea. The most common high priority that I see is phishing alerts. That will definitely be the most amount of alerts that you will see. Because as we know, the biggest vulnerability in an organization is the people. And people like to click links. So that's what you'll see a lot of. Some other high priority alerts that I've seen are things like malicious PowerShell commands. I had an alert one time that was heavily obfuscated, meaning it was hidden and wrapped in a different type of code in order to attempt bypassing antivirus softwares, firewalls, and potential SOC analysts. But I found it and it looked very weird, so I de-obfuscated it and I was able to see the PowerShell command for what it was. and it was reaching out to this external website, grabbing code from that website and attempting to bring it back onto the host. Very nasty, very dirty, very malicious. Okay, so those are the two most common high priority alerts I see. Malicious commands and phishing alerts. Medium priority alerts, the biggest thing I see for these are mitigated malware threats, like a mitigated worm or remote admin tools. And obviously there's a lot more, but those are just a few examples. In the low category, the most types of alerts I see are PUA, or potentially unwanted applications. And even those sometimes I just handle myself by quarantining them and adding them to the block list or the ban list. But sometimes I do see PUAs making reg mods, and in those instances I'll definitely escalate at a low, because it's still just a PUA, which is just a very light malware that's not going to do anything crazy to a system. We're back to our queue. Now, you can click on one of these alerts, and when that happens, it provides you a preview, and it brings in specific key value pairs from within the console. Now, a key value pair is something like a title, and it gives the title, like phishing malware found on host. And then it will say host name, and then it'll give you the host name, username, it'll give you the user. Those are key value pairs, and those are brought in through the console. So you'll have a page that has that information, and then you'll go through, investigate the alert from start to finish, and determine the severity and the priority of the alert, and then act accordingly. Then I had this last picture of what a SOC queue can look like, or the software that you'll use. And again, this is just a general overview of the alert types and the severities. There's a pie chart. This is for the business side of cybersecurity. And then here we have what a SOC will look like. And this is where you will be performing your day-to-day activities for the most part. Of course, if you're remote, all you have to do to see where you'll be working is look around where you are right now. That's where you'll be working. Okay? Or if you're hybrid, obviously. So everybody is here together. It's easy to reach out to your fellow employees and ask a question about an alert they have. Or if you just have a question for your own alert, you can just ask your employees there. And you see in the back those people writing on the board, those pie charts and all that stuff that I showed you. That information is for those guys. You would then go through your queue for the remainder of your shift, and typically there's an SLA or service level agreement. All that is a promise to the organizations that you be able to investigate the alerts in a certain time span. And that will all depend on your organization. And there you have it, a day in the life of a SOC analyst. It's actually incredibly fun because every single alert is its own complete and total investigations. Now, granted, you'll start to see alerts where you know exactly what's going on and you know how to solve it, and you'll be able to finish those quickly. But the really fun ones are the alerts that you have to dive into. You have to see the related activity, the activity that happened before and after, and piece it together. And that is the day in the life of a SOC analyst. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below.